Johnny's tutorials.
Hi everyone, welcome to Johnny's tutorials, and today we're going to be discussing the basics of Nunchaku. Okay, there are lots of different kinds of ways of using this weapon, but I think the basics is something that's the same throughout. Okay, so we're talking about the fundamentals. Just like any spinning weapon or any spinning performance, the Nunchaku rely on centrifugal force. Okay, so you know the thing's spinning, and that's how we control the performance. Okay, so that's the first thing to get into your heads. Everything that you do is about that centrifuge. Okay, even the bounces, the stalls, it's all about creating the performance through the spins. Okay, so before we go any further, we should look at the different types of nunchucks. These ones are foam practice nunchucks, which are fantastic for learning. You're not going to hurt yourself, so if you bash yourself in the head or anywhere else, it's not going to hurt. And I absolutely recommend these. These are cheap as anything. Really good tool starting off with. These ones are your traditional nunchucks. As you can see, they've been well used. Long chain, heavy weight, good for performing, not so good for performing with others. Okay, these ones are contact fire nunchaku, and as you can see, they have a shorter chain than the traditional nunchaku, which makes some moves easier to control, and they're also thinner. As you can see, that's quite thick, hard to get your fingers around, and that's because this is traditionally a weapon. Okay, so you're meant to grip it, you're meant to, you know, do some heavy contact moves with that, whereas this is designed for performing, and therefore you will be rolling it between your fingers, which you wouldn't do in a fight, let's be honest, but that's one of the moves that you'll be doing. The shorter chain does make certain moves harder and certain moves easier. Okay, so it's just a difference, it's just a variation. And the thing is, no matter what tricks you learn, if you learn it with one, you're going to have to relearn it with the other one. It's not going to just be a case of picking up any nunchuck and you know, doing it the same. And finally, what we have here is something much more lightweight than the contact nunchaku. Much more lightweight because it's hollow plastic. Doesn't have the grip because it's not made for contact, and it has a short chain, so short in fact it's actually shorter than this one, so short that wrist rolls and things become very difficult. Okay, much more difficult with this than with the longer chains. However, the finger spins are much easier. Okay, and again, it's all about selecting the right nunchaku for your style, for the style that you're learning. You can transfer any moves from one to the other, but some moves will be easier with different types than they are with other types. Okay, so the first things that you're going to have to learn is your basic spins and your basic grips. So let's start with the grips. This is known as front grip. This is when your thumb is closest to the chain, and front grip is more like swinging a flail. Okay, you want to hold it as close to the chain as possible because you have more control. And again, it's all about centrifugal force. So if you're holding it at the bottom, you have less control than you do at the top. I'm not saying never hold it at the bottom. Okay, I'm saying for a smooth routine, it's a good idea to get used to a familiar holding position. And this is where the professionals would tend to say is your default position with the tool. Okay, it makes your wrist rolls easy because you're coming back into the same position that you left. Coming just as far away on the chain, I mean, not just, yeah. And you know, it's just going to be easier for you to begin with. So, holding positions, front grip and reverse grip. As you saw, I just slightly rolled it into reverse grip. Now then, the big difference between them is the way that the chain moves. Okay, as you can see, front grip is like a flail, but reverse grip, the whole thing is much more extended, and that's what I consider to be more staff-like. the moves that you perform from reverse grip are much more similar to staff moves, whereas the moves from front grip can be likened to poi moves. Okay. So let's look at the basic points.
Elected these guys to run the planet. We elected these 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 guys to run the planet. We elected these run the planet. We elected these guys to run the planet. We elected these run the planet. We elected these guys to run the planet.
Do you feel insulted? Do you feel insulted? Do you feel insulted? Do you see the irony of it all?
On the planet. 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 Elected these guys.
Rubbish! I'm listening to them, they're rubbish! 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 I'm listening to them, they're rubbish!
On the planet. 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 On the planet.
Okay, so you're probably bored out of your mind now, huh? I'm wondering why you just sat through all that. Well, now that you've learned all these moves, let's look at linking them, okay? So as you've seen, the circles can turn into the front-facing X, okay? But then at the other side, you can do an upward-facing circle into an upward-facing X. So what you've just learned there is all your transitions. And now all you've got to do is put them together. Have some fun with it. Okay. On to bounces. Okay, on to bounces. Bounces are really fun, and these have been passed down from Nunchaku's very beginnings. Okay, so the idea of the bounce, as we mentioned earlier, it's all about centrifugal force. Okay, so this end makes contact, that's going to hurt, because that's where all the force is, swinging round like a bucket of paint. Okay, if you make contact down on the chain or close to the chain, it's not going to hurt because the energy is absorbed as it moves around. Okay, so there doesn't hurt, but there does. Wow, a lot. Okay, so when you're learning these bounces, just look at how the nunchuck makes contact with the body. Try not to hit yourself at the end, man. It really gets you. Okay, so let's look at some simple bounce routines.
Do you feel insulted? Do you feel insulted? Do you feel insulted? Do you see the irony of it all?
We elected these guys to run the planet, run the planet, run the planet, run the planet.
Hi, welcome back. So now you've learned the 3 beat and the 5 beat. Did you look into the 7 beat as well? Okay, now let's think about mixing it up. You can bounce off any part of your body. And now that you've learned the transitions, let's look at some horizontals. You can do a horizontal pretty much anything that you can do vertical. So you can do your horizontal X's, you can do your horizontal circles. And bounce. So you're already a master. Just link it all together, guys. Get out there and have some fun.